Hello, butterflies and dragonflies. In today's maths lesson, you guys are going to be investigators and you are going to investigate what you think about different thoughts and opinions based on subtraction. So let me show you what our learning objective is for today. So today you're going to be justifying your reasoning. So that means explaining why your reasons for something are true. And this is an analysing lesson because you're going to be investigating and looking more deeply into things. So the first thing you need to do is create testing criteria. I'll explain to you in a moment what that means. Then you need to investigate using that testing criteria. And then you need to make a conclusion. So that means explain what you think at the end, giving your reasons. I'll go through all of that with you now so that you know what that means. Here's a statement. Subtraction makes a number smaller. Is that true always, sometimes, or never? So before we even start looking at it, some of you might already have an idea what you think. Some of you might be saying, yes, that happens always, or I think that happens sometimes. Some of you might be thinking, no, that never happens. But it's important that we test that out to see whether it's always true, sometimes true, or never true. So the first thing we need to do is create testing criteria. That means we need to think about what we're going to test to prove whether that's true or not. So if I want to test that subtraction makes a number smaller, I need to do some subtractions. Okay, so I might start by thinking, okay, I'm going to test a 2-digit number, take away a 1-digit number. And I'm going to do a few of those to see if it always makes the number smaller. And then I might think, well, is that going to be the same if it's 2 digits and 2 digits? So if I did a 2-digit number, take away another 2-digit number, would that make the number smaller? And then I might think, well, what happens if I take away the same number if the minuend and the subtrahend are the same? So perhaps I should test that and see if that makes the number smaller. When the minuend and the subtrahend are the same. Okay, so now I've come up with my testing criteria. These are the 3 things I want to test. I need to start investigating. So I'm going to try it out and see if it always makes a number smaller, or if it's sometimes, or if it's never. So I'm going to start with 2 digits minus 1 digit. So I'm going to go on to my next page. I'm going to try out that criteria. 2 digit, take away 1 digit. So I'm going to try this about 3 times. So I'm going to start with 53, take away 2. 53 take away 2 is 51, because 2 digits, 2 ones are taken away from my 3 ones, so I've got 1 left. So has that made the minuend smaller? Yes, because 51 is smaller than 53, so it has. I'm going to try it again. 69 take away 5. 69 take away 5. Can you work it out? Well done, it's 64. So has that become smaller? Yes, it has. And then I might think, well, what if I need to regroup? Is that going to make the number smaller? So I'm going to try and come up with a question where I have to regroup. So I'm going to start with 71, take away 6. Okay, 71 take away 6. If you wanted to do a pictorial jotting to help you work this out, you could, or an empty number line, that's fine. I'm going to use my mental strategies, and I'm going to know if I take 1 away, I've got 70, and I'm left with 5 more to subtract. So I've got 65. Okay, so 71 take away. Has that number become smaller? Yes, it has. Okay, let's try our 2 digits, take away 2 digits now. Okay, let's try 54, take away 22. 55 tens, take away 2 tens are 3 tens. 4 ones, take away 2 ones are 2 ones. That number has become smaller again. And I might test that out 2 more times there as well. Okay, now we need to go back to our testing criteria. And it says when the minuend and the subtrahend are the same. So I'm going to put here minuend equals subtrahend, because remember the equals sign means the same as. Okay, so if I did 6, take away 6. What is 6 take away 6? 0. 54, take away 54. If I've got 54 and I'm taking away 54, I'm going to have nothing left. Has that number become smaller? Yes, it has. So we've tested lots of different things, and every time we found out that the number becomes smaller. So we can go back to our statements and we can write our conclusion. So we have created our test criteria, success criteria 1, we've done that. We've investigated, and now we need to make our conclusions. So we need to explain whether we think it's always, sometimes, or never. We need to explain why. Why is that? And this is where the analysing comes in as well, because we're asking why. So I'm going to start and I'm going to think subtraction always makes a number smaller. And then I have to use the conjunction because I have to explain why. So why does subtraction always make a number smaller? Well, we know it's always making a number smaller because we're taking an amount away from an amount. So if we've got an amount there, if we've got 54, if we're subtracting, we're taking something away. So the number's always going to become smaller. Okay, so I could write that in my conclusion. Right, let's have a go at another one. And this time, I want you to think of what your testing criteria might be. When I subtract 9, it is the same as subtracting 10 and adding 1. Does that happen always, sometimes, or never? So I want you to think of different things you could test there to prove whether that happens always, sometimes, or never. What things might you want to test? Pause the video now and have a little think. Have you done that? Well done. It'd be great if I could hear some of your answers, but unfortunately I can't, so I'm just going to have to come up with my thinking. So I might do, for my test criteria, I want to test numbers that have different amounts of ones, because I want to see, does it always happen if you take away 10 and add 1? Is that the same as taking away 9? So I want to test numbers with different ones. Okay. I might do that with, I'm going to do that just with 2-digit numbers actually. I don't think I can do that with 1-digit number, or with a 1-digit number, because you can't take away 10, because a 1-digit number is always smaller than 10. So for this one, I'm only going to have one testing criteria. So I'm going to have a go at testing that now. So numbers that have different ones. So I'm going to test 54, 63 and 78. Okay, so I'm going to start by subtracting 9 for each one. And then I'm going to have a go at taking away 10 and adding 1. And I want to see if it's always the same. Okay, pause the video now and see if you can have a go at that, and see if you can also think about why, if it's always, sometimes or never true, and why. Off you go.